Alright guys, I want to do a quick video of the latest V2 that I finished up. This is a Gen 1 Solos Hold V2 with some slight modifications that I've made myself. With a Gen 2 pommel and with a Gen 2 mystery chunk. The Gen 1 cone knob, that's the second version of the Gen 1 cone knob, which is actually pretty good. Gen 2 D-ring and Gen 2 clamp card and Solos Hold RoTJ card soldered with a vintage soldering on the right side to mimic the look of the original. And I did modify the neck, correct gaffer. The neck is got this darkened brown appearance to it, which is also accurate to the prop. Let's see, dirtied up in between the ribs on it. So there's slight modifications made, lathe work made to kind of accurize what our first version of it shows. Groove in the pommel, milled in. I did not damage the bottom of the pommel. I don't do that on my V2s. I know that a lot of people do, and I guess it looks okay, you know, but I was never really confident enough in the reference that I've seen from it to go ahead and decide to make that choice and put it on the V2s. So this is the display flange, steel center core with a file mark, the groove on it, dimpled in the middle, overspray line on it with the dents, all correctly orientated on the face. And this is the display flange for those not familiar. Then we have a locking flange for the blade, and then the blade utilizes it's a special blade that we use for this system, so you're able to lock it in with about a 3/4 inch. It's a little less than a 3/4 inch actually flange that is epoxied onto the blade and then locks it in. This is a NeoPixel setup, of course. You can see it's a Shitok NeoPixel connector. So this is a Ryo Gen 1 chassis. The font is Juansith's RoTJ on bank 1 and his RoTJ V2 on bank 2. So this is a new font that he went ahead and sent me. It was requested by the guy who made this, who wanted me to, or who commissioned me to do the lightsaber. He liked Juansith's font, but he was hoping for a bit more of a light side version of the font where you have Luke quotes instead of Palpatine quotes. And I contacted Juansith about that, and he liked the idea, so he made up a whole new font. And I was just asking to see if he could do, you know, maybe some new quotes and stuff like that. But he went ahead and decided to do a whole new font. So definitely huge shout out to him for coming up with that. I'm a big fan of it. On my sabers, when I do them, I normally like to have just the fonts on it that I want on it that are tailored to that lightsaber. I don't normally like to have, you know, 12 different sound fonts on a saber. Maybe I'm strange. I kind of don't like doing that. I kind of like to keep things very specific and tailored to the prop. So also real quick, this is a Gen 2 Trooper Trent stencil. And it's sized for a Solos Hold Gen 2, but I adapted it to work with this system without much issue. The dimensions aren't that much off at all, to be honest. So for you guys out there who were thinking about doing something like that, it's absolutely possible. It's not an issue. It's a non-issue.
I'm looking forward to completing your training.
So this is a CFX NeoPixel 18650 high drain, 4-watt max, 28mm 8-ohm speaker.
Your head has made you powerful.
2.1 recharge switchcraft.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
This is bank 1. And then
So be it.
And then just to show everybody, actually this is a great angle right now that I'm filming from. Allows me to put the blade in, I put the blade flange over it, then press down on the blade while you're screwing this on. Give it a nice twist.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side. Now, young Skywalker, you will die.
Sound bank selection.
Welcome, youngs. Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So this is the light side font, and on it he provided a lot of different quotes, so I could kind of tailor it to whatever however I wanted to set it up. With boots, menu sounds, preons, post-offs, that sort of stuff.
I feel the conflict within you. Let go of your hate.
Round tip on this. This is a super accurate font. I actually really like this.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
So all of the quotes on it are Luke. That's it, and that was kind of the idea. And I'm actually really glad that the guy who I won't say his name, the guy who commissioned me to do the lightsaber for him, specifically requested something like this, because you know it just occurred to me that we don't have any, or at least I don't have anything like that from the guy that I like to get fonts from. You know, I can't. I gotta give him a shout out. I use his fonts on all my stuff. Juansith stuff is great. So,
Soon I'll be dead, and you with me.
so all the preons are, you know, I tailored all those to put them on here. The post office is always the same,
I'll never turn to the dark side.
which is, you know, super perfect, I think, for this hilt, you know, in the scene, and the line that he says directly after he retracted it. You know, when Palpatine told him to kill him.
You're gravely mistaken. You won't convert me as you did my father.
So, you know, super, yeah, no, I dig it.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
Yeah, I love this. This font's great. Hold on a second. Let me get that. So that's the way that this system works. And the guy that it's going to could use this as basically kind of a how-to of, you know, how to put the blade in. So I always put it up pommel down, and then I put the blade in and screw it on it, and pressing the blade down into the pogo pins, you know, because that's all kind of, you know, spring loaded right there. So rather than having the flange engage the threads while there's pressure on it, it's better to push the coupler into the hilt, get the threads to lock, and then crank it down on there, so that you're not risking, you know, cross-threading the threads on it or something like that. So, yeah, that's the system. I don't really know what else I can talk about, really. I mean, everybody's seen these kind of done to death, or at least I kind of feel that way. Emitter's dented, pretty accurate, at least to my eye, using the reference that I have. Roman's clamp, I could have weathered it and put some paint in the cracks. Actually, I might decide to do that now. I don't really know before I send it. But, what else? So when I do these, when I convert them over, I utilize the booster section from the Gen 1, and then I lathe all of the parts to modify and adapt everything so that I can put the Gen 2 pommel on the Gen 1. If there's anything, I think that, you know, the biggest improvement to the Gen 1 system, I think, accuracy-wise, is putting our Gen 2 pommel on it. So, and this is a, you know, this is a clean-backed version, so no sound holes or anything like that. It's designed for, you know, venting out the side of the saber through the clamp holes. And that's it. So this is one of my blades. So round tip, 7/8, tri-diffused, NeoPixel blade, RGB setup, RGB Shitok pogo adapter in the front. Let's see. And that's pretty much it. So there we go. All right, thanks for watching. Oof, 10 minutes. Okay. Watch The Mandalorian if you haven't. I just watched tonight's episodes. It's insane. All right, may the force be with you guys. Later.